Hey everybody, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to Smrt Live Class Wednesday. I am your first teacher. My name is Mark Roberts. You probably know that already. We're going to start off today, and I would like to thank Pascoa. We've got an echo here. We got an echo, guys. We'll just take care of that 1 second. Okay, I think we've got that fixed. Anyways, we'd like to start off today by thanking two people for donating to the Smrt live stream. First of all, Pascoa. Pascoa, she donates every month. Thank you very, very much, Pascoa. We really, really appreciate it. And I can see you're in the chat already, so good to see you. Also, Donnie D. I'm not sure who that is. I haven't talked to Donnie in the chat before, but Donnie, thank you for your donation. We really appreciate it. So if you want to support the Smrt live stream, if you like what we are doing here, please donate if you can. If you're on YouTube, you can see the link in the description under the video. Guys, how are you today? Fatih, Pascoa, Guadria, Nikolai, Rosalinda, lots of students coming back every week. That's really, really good. Alejandra, I'm sorry, Alejandra, I forgot about you. Let's get started. Now, let's look at, let's start here. So today we're going to continue studying relative clauses. And this is the third lesson about relative clauses. But if you didn't study the other lessons, that's okay. Let's do a quick review. So guys, everybody in the chat, I would like you to answer these questions, okay? So in the chat, please write your answers. So number one, what is a clause? So in the chat, please write your answer. Number one, answer. Number two, answer. Number three, answer. Number four, answer. So what is a clause? Go ahead, guys, start typing your answers. What is an adjective clause? Where does the adjective clause go in the sentence? So if you have a sentence, where do you put the adjective clause? And finally, what is a relative pronoun? Because we talked about these things last week. What is a relative pronoun? And which ones do we use with adjective clauses? Which relative pronouns do we use with adjective clauses? While you are writing your answers, I should tell you that today Zach is on vacation with his children. So Lane is helping my class today. Usually Lane helps Sean's classes, but sometimes he can help my class too. So if you have a question for me, if you don't understand something, please tell me in the chat. If I don't see your question, Lane will tell me. We have a different chat for that. So let's look at your answers. Let's see if you have any answers here. Number one, what is a clause? Okay, so Pascoa, a clause is a sentence that has a subject and a verb. Okay, a clause is a sentence that has a subject and a verb. Okay, pretty good. Not 100% correct. Pretty good. Any other answers? Rosa from Algeria. Hey Rosa. Rosa comes every week. A group of words with a subject and a verb. I like that answer. A group of words with a subject and a verb. Yeah. A group of words with a subject and a verb. So let's look at Pascoa's answer. A clause is a sentence. No, it's not a sentence, okay? A sentence is a complete idea. And sometimes a sentence has one clause. Sometimes a sentence has 3 clauses or 4 clauses, okay? So Pascoa, that's okay. That, many students make the same mistake. They think it's a sentence. No, because, sometimes a sentence has more than one clause. A very important rule in English is every sentence needs a clause. Okay, so let's go back to Rosa's answer here. A group of words with a subject and a verb. So let's look at some examples. I love you. Okay, here is a group of words. Actually, we have 3 words. And the subject is I, love is the verb. This is a complete idea, so it's a sentence. This sentence has one clause. This sentence has one clause. Hi, Miguel. It's okay. Don't worry about being late. Good, Fatih. How are you, Fatih? Aisha, welcome. Welcome. So guys, keep answering the questions, okay? Keep answering the questions. Please type number 2, number 3, number 4. I'm going to keep talking about number 1 here before we start the new lesson, okay? So, Pascoa and other students, here is a sentence, I love you. It has one clause. But, of course, I could make this sentence longer because you are rich. This is always I use the same example. Okay, Pascoa, so look, how many sentences? How many sentences? Well, we only have one sentence, right? This is my complete idea. But in this sentence, we have how many clauses? How many clauses? Well, we have 2 clauses, right? I love you because you are rich. Okay, guys, so remember, a very important rule in English is every sentence needs a clause. And, this is usually not a problem for most language, most students in the world. But it's really a problem with some Asian students. Like my wife is Japanese, and Japanese people, Japanese language or Korean language, you don't need a clause, you don't need a subject, and sometimes you don't need a verb. So an example, like something Japanese or Korean people always say, they say, oh, hungry, hungry. Right? And when they speak English, they just say hungry. Now my wife doesn't do this because I have explained this to her. But this is not a sentence. This is not good English. Hungry, hungry. Why is this bad? Because there is no subject and there is no verb. So if you're speaking Japanese or if you're speaking Korean, you can just say hungry or tired, right? But in English, you have to say I'm hungry, or I'm tired, okay? Because you need a clause, I'm, okay? I'm. Let's continue. What is an adjective clause? So let's look at the chat. Ivan, because you are rich, isn't it a dependent clause? Yeah, it is, but it's a clause, right? It's a clause. Okay, let's look at your answers here for number 2. Miguel, how are you today, buddy? What is an adjective clause? An adjective clause, Miguel says it modifies a noun. Hey, Soy, welcome. Right? Or Johnny Madrid says an adjective clause, thank you, Johnny, an adjective clause describes a noun. Hey, good job, good job, good job. All right. Any other answers? Guys, write your number, right? An adjective clause with one verb and a relative pronoun. Okay, Pascoa, thank you. Rosalinda, I'm not sure what you mean by that. I'm not sure what you mean by your answer there for number 2. Adjective is participle clause. No, I don't know what you mean by that either. The chat about what, Aisha? Well, just these questions here, okay? All right, so what is an adjective clause? Well, an adjective clause modifies a noun. So it's a clause, a subject and a verb that modifies, it gives information about a noun, right? It describes a noun. Okay, where does the adjective clause go in the sentence? Yes, Pascoa, thank you very much. The adjective clause goes at, whoops, excuse me. Where does it go in the sentence? Well, that's kind of weird. Let's try this. Okay, it goes after the noun. After the noun. Very good. After the noun. And finally, what is a relative pronoun, guys? I haven't seen any answers to that. Hey, Kayo's here. Hey, Kayo. What's a relative pronoun? Well, Luis Antonio Suarez. Hey, Luis, how are you? Okay, a relative pronoun. Nice answer, Luis. Thank you very much. Okay, it is a pronoun that introduces a relative clause. Okay, I like that. I like that. Don't worry, everybody. If you were not here last week or 2 weeks ago, I will give you some examples of adjective clauses. And then we're going to talk about noun clauses, okay? We're going to talk about noun clauses. So guys, which relative pronouns did we talk about last week? Well, Ivan, Kaio, thank you very much. Right? We talked about who, we talked about that, we talked about which. Good job. Thank you, Ivan. We talked about whom, we talked about whose. Yes, good. Excellent, excellent. Any more? I think we talked about 2 more, when and where. Yeah. So these are relative pronouns, guys. Okay, now usually students think, you know, these are question words, right? Where are you from? Or here's my Starbucks, you know, it's the morning, Wednesday morning in Vancouver, so I need my coffee, right? Which size do you want? Okay? Or you know, when will you come to Canada? Right, but those are that's different. Okay? Relative pronouns we use with adjective clauses. Yes. Okay, so let's look at some examples. Let's look at some examples. Whoops. Okay, here are some examples of adjective clauses. Let's make this a little bit bigger for you. Also, guys, usually every class somebody says, oh, it's not clear. It's not clear, right? Well, if you are watching the video, please turn on the HD, okay, if you want to see this clearly. Okay, so the person who I met was my teacher. The person who I met was my teacher. Okay, the person who I met. Here is an adjective clause. So it's very, very important to understand that who I met is describing the noun person. Because today we're going to talk about something very different. This information is describing person. And remember, usually adjective clauses define. Remember we talked about that? Adjective clauses define. Right? Define means explain which thing or which person, right? So which person? Which person was your teacher? The person who I met was my teacher, right? You can see here who is not a question, right? Who means person. The person who I met was my teacher. Good. Next, the country that I visited was Thailand. Okay, my main information is the country was Thailand. The country was Thailand. The country was Thailand. But which country? The country that I visited was Thailand. So in the first example, we have who. In the second example, we have that, okay, is our relative pronoun. Next one, is the laptop that is sitting on the table. Look, this is my adjective clause. My main question is the laptop new. But which laptop? Is the laptop that is sitting on the table new? Okay, that is sitting on the table new. And finally, the desk which I'm using is broken. The desk which I'm using is broken. Okay, so I'm seeing a lot of messages in the chat. I'm sorry if I didn't see your question. I'll check that very soon. But let's just go over, right? For people, remember, we can use who or that. For things, we can use that or which. Okay? For places, right? Well, places are also things. So for places, you could say that, which, or where. And times, you could say that, which, or when. This is what we talked about last week, okay? So if you're confused, right? Usually we just use these. But if it's a place, you can also say where. And if it's a time, you can also say when. Okay, we've got lots of questions here. So let's go back here and let's look at any questions. I think I'm lost. What is the topic now? Are you in the beginning or almost the end? I mean, the time. Okay, so we are doing, this lesson is called Relative Clauses number 3, right? So this is the third lesson. Right now we are reviewing a little bit before we continue the lesson. Ayub, is a pronoun, does it relate to clauses? Well, yeah, okay. Let's look at an example. Let's try to do an example of where, okay? Let me think of an example. The movie theater is, okay. The movie theater, okay, so the movie theater is the place, okay? So, maybe somebody wants to, let's meet, okay? Let's meet, guys. Let's go see a movie tonight, okay? Let's meet. So where should we meet? And I say, the movie theater is the place. Okay, is the place. So here is my noun phrase. The movie theater is the place. Okay. And which place, right? We are going to meet at the place. We are going to meet at the place. Okay, so a very important rule, and this, I know guys, we're reviewing again. We reviewed last week too, but this is not easy, okay? Usually I teach, high, low, I teach intermediate. And for intermediate students, this is really difficult. This is a big jump to a higher level. So it's okay to review. I think a lot of students need review. Remember, if you want to use an adjective clause, you need a noun. A noun. Listen, you need a noun because an adjective describes a noun. If you don't have a noun, you can't use an adjective clause. So look, the movie theater is the place. Here is my noun. Here is my noun. Okay, and now I'm going to describe the noun. I'm going to use this clause to describe the noun. Remember, adjective clauses, oh, I lost the sentence. Adjective clauses go beside the noun. Okay, finally, well, not finally, but let's get rid of the capital. The movie theater is the place we are going to meet. At the place. Why the place? 2 times. Now, we need a pronoun. Okay, remember, pronouns are words that we use because we don't want to say the noun 2 times. So here we have the movie theater is the place. We are going to meet at the place 2 times. Don't say the noun 2 times. We need a relative pronoun. Look, places. We have 3 choices. Here are our 3 choices. So we're going to remove this. Okay, and we're going to use a relative pronoun. Remember, use relative pronouns beside the noun. Okay, so let's copy this and let's put it here. Okay, the movie theater is the place that we are going to meet at. The movie theater is the place which we are going to meet at. And the movie theater is the place where we are going to meet at. Now with where, usually you don't need the prepositions at, in, on, or to. Okay, you can cancel the preposition. Okay, you can cancel it. But that's a more advanced lesson. So don't worry about that. I think you guys, last week I told you we can use where, we can use when, but it's easier if you just remember who or that for people and that or which for things. Okay, Fatih is asking me about whether and if. Okay, Fatih, I will talk about that later today. Okay, somebody whose name is in Chinese. I can't read Chinese, I'm sorry. I should learn Chinese. I ask the one who wears red. I ask the one who wears red. Any difference? Interesting question. Okay, so yeah, we're going to talk about that pretty soon. We're going to talk about that. That's a very interesting question. I am watching right now Soy. Okay, so Soy this is the first time coming to the class clearly, so I think you will understand if you continue watching. Okay. Guadria, can I say the person that I met was my teacher? Perfect, perfect. The person that I met, the person who I met, or you can say the person I met. Okay. And remember, if you have a new subject, the person I, you don't need who or that or which. Okay. I'm not going to talk about that because we've talked about that in the last 2 classes. Is there any difference between that and which? Nope. No, there isn't. That is more popular. A clause is, yeah, okay, good. Can I omit the pronoun in this case? Yes, you can, Kayo. Yeah. We're not going to talk about that because I want to stop reviewing. I want to do some new material. Okay. No, I don't think you can delete the pronoun. Which one, Marianne? Which one? This one you can delete the pronoun. Okay. Because remember, okay, let's talk about it a little bit. Remember, if you are talking about the object, we are going to meet at the place. This is the object. You can omit this. You don't need it. Okay, so this sentence right here, this sentence is very good. And probably this is the most common way I think Canadians and Americans speak. So this is the movie theater is the place we are going to meet at. Okay. All right. Okay. So yes, Fatih, we will talk about that. Guys, the last thing I'm going to say, and then we're going to start some new material. Remember, an adjective clause describes a noun. Okay. Remember, if you want to use an adjective clause, it goes beside the noun. That's really important for today's lesson. So let's start the new lesson. Okay, so I'm going to be using Smrt. Okay, Smrt is the system that Sean and I make for schools to learn English. So of course, you guys most students don't have this link. That's okay. You don't need it right now. Okay, now we're going to study clauses that function as nouns. Okay, stop. So we talked about clauses that are adjectives, right? Adjective clauses. They describe nouns. But now we're going to talk about clauses. They don't describe nouns, they are nouns. They don't describe nouns. Okay? So, guys, here we go. Here's the new lesson. Yes. Okay, noun clauses. So, we have different kinds of noun clauses. Noun clauses that start with a question word. So, look. Japan is where he was born. Where he was born. Okay? So we have noun clauses that start with question words like where or how or what or who or when or why. It's okay, Soy, you'll understand, you'll understand. So Japan is where he was born. This is a noun, okay? This clause, he was, right? Subject, verb, where he was born, right? Well, this is, in this sentence, it is a noun, right? Example, Japan is his country. Look, it's the same, it's kind of the same grammar, right? Subject, verb, and this is called a complement, right? Japan is his country. But if you look at it, his country, this is a noun phrase, right? So, same thing, we can use a clause, but we use a question word, where he was born. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. Okay, all right, let's continue. We also have noun clauses that start with whether or if. So Fatih asked about this, and I told him, yes, we will talk about that. So an example, do you know the time? That's a noun. Do you know Starbucks? That's a noun. Do you know Mark? Mark is a noun. But we can also use a clause. Do you know if I can catch the number 345 bus here? This is a clause, right? And finally, we have noun clauses that start with that. And I think that you are right. Okay, so first let's talk about noun clauses with question words. Okay, noun clauses with question words. Ooh, Rosa, you have an interesting sentence, an interesting comment. We will talk about that. Okay, noun clauses with question words. First, these types of noun clauses are mostly, not always, mostly used to ask and answer questions. So we use noun clauses with what or where or why or when or who, usually to ask questions or answer questions. So example, a question, asking a question. Hey, do you know where Mike lives? And the answer, I don't know. I don't know where Mike lives. See, we use a noun clause here to ask a question or to answer a question. Okay? All right, how do we make noun clauses with question words? Okay. Look at these questions. Hey, when did you start learning English? Where does he live? Who do you live with? Okay? These are not noun clauses. These are not noun clauses, right? These are normal questions. When did you? Right, Rosa? When did you? Where does he? Who do you live with? Right? This is question word order, right? Question word order. All right, let's continue. All right. Now, if you change these questions to a noun clause, we don't need question word order. And Rosa has talked about what is question word order? Question word order. Guys, listen, because this is always a difficult thing for students. I don't care if you're a high-level student or a lower-level student. I don't care. This is difficult, okay? Do, does, or did. All right, as auxiliary verbs. Okay, we say before the subject in questions, right? Example, where do you live? Right? Do you? Right? Or where does he live? Right? Why do we do this? Because it's a question. We need an auxiliary verb before the subject. Right? Past, where did you live? Where did you live? These are questions. Now, if I change these to noun clauses, cancel the question word order. Cancel it. So, question word order, we have auxiliary verb, or auxiliary, okay, I'm confused. Auxiliary verb, subject, okay? But if we cancel that, we need to do this, okay? Where do you live? So, how do we cancel the question word order? Well, what do we usually say? Not a question. You live in Italy. You live in France. You live in Vancouver. We don't need do. We only use do in questions. Same thing. Where does he live? Answer, he lives in Italy. He lives, right? Or where did you live? I lived in Japan. I lived in Japan. Okay, so these are not questions. So when we change a question to a noun clause, we cancel the question word order. So what do we do? Where you live. Okay, where he lives, right? Where he lives. And finally, whoops, what am I doing? Where you lived. Where you lived. Kyle, yes, I just talked about inversion. I don't want to use that word today because then I have to explain, what does that mean? But if you have studied with me before, yes, Kyle, we're talking about inversion. Yeah. Okay, so now when we make a question, and I think Alejandro, I remember you wanted to learn this, right? We talked about this a little bit, right? So let's go back to our examples. Let's look at some examples here. Hey, well, actually I'm going to use my examples first. Okay, so where do you live? Where do you live? Well, we can use a noun clause in our new question. So look at this, guys. Ready? Could you tell me, here is my question, could you tell me, ding, 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 right? Could you tell me your name? That's a noun, right? Could you tell me the time? That's a noun. Or could you tell me this one? Ready? Could you tell me where you live? Could you tell me where do you live? No, that's not good English. And many students say that, and it's not good. Okay, where does he live? Hey, do you know where he lives? And the question is here. So do you know? Do you? The question is here. But the question is not here. So we don't need does. And where did you live? Hey, stupid question, but do you remember where you do? Whoops, guys, sorry. Let me go back here. What did I do? There we go. Sometimes I press the button by accident. Okay, do you remember where you lived? Let's look at some more examples on Smrt. When did you start learning English? Right? No noun clause. When did you start learning English? Question, did you? Right? But could you tell me when, right? When? Did you? No. We cancel the question word order, right? So think about what do we say if it's not a question? Did you start is a question, right? But not a question, we say you started. Could you tell me when you started learning English? Okay? The question is here. This is my noun clause. I can't remember. Remember, we use noun clauses with question words a lot in questions and question answers. So here's an answer. I can't remember. I can't remember when I started learning English. Okay? Yeah, Louise, some books or some lessons, some teachers call this indirect questions. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Okay, this is when I asked you to explain questions. Yeah, this is what you meant, right, Alejandra? Yeah, I know this is what you meant, but I didn't know that, right? And when I did my lesson about questions, I talked about inversion, right? We talked about question word order. And then in the lesson you said, hey, but what about this? So we talked about it a little bit. Okay, let's look at, well, we already talked about this example, right? Where does he live? Do you know where he lives, right? If the question is past tense, the noun clause is also in past tense. Well, yeah, I mean, if right now we're just practicing, right? So where does he live is good English, right? But we can also say this question like this, okay? So this is the same meaning. Where does he live? Do you know where he lives? If it's past, right? When did you start learning English? Right? Well, here's the same meaning. It's also past, okay? Soy, good question. There must be, I want to know if he is coming. Steve, Lynn. Hi, Steve. What's your second sentence here? There must be some difference between the following two. I want to know if he is coming. Steve, what's your second sentence? I want to know if he is coming. Those are the same sentences. Steve, you wrote the same sentence 2 times. I'll come back to the comments in a second. Okay, who do you live with? Could you tell me? We say this a lot. Would you mind telling me? Okay. Would you mind telling me? That means could you tell me? Would you mind telling me who you live with? Right? Who do you? No. I don't want to tell you. I don't want to tell you. I don't want to tell you who I live with. Okay? I don't want to tell you who I live with. Okay? So again, I don't want to tell you my name. It's a noun. I don't want to tell you my age. That's a noun. I don't want to tell you the information. I don't want to tell you the secret. These are nouns. But we also use noun clauses with question words as a noun. Let's go back to the chat. I want to know if he's coming. Oops, typing. Okay, Steve, I can't, I don't understand your question. Okay, let's continue. I think we've talked about this enough. Okay. I think we're ready for an exercise. So let's practice changing the questions to noun clauses, right? I want to make sure you guys know how to do that. Okay, so let's just type the missing part. Okay, you guys can start. Okay, just type the missing part in the YouTube chat, and please help me. If I don't see the letter, I don't understand. You know, which one are you talking about? So example, I'll do an example in the chat right now. What is your favorite part about learning English? Could you let me know? So I'm going to write my answer here. What your right? So I know I'm just typing in the chat, and I know if you're watching this on YouTube after the class, you don't understand what Mark's doing. But here is my answer in the YouTube chat. Okay, I see some mistakes already. Yeah, Louise, you can write the whole question if you want. Maybe that's better if you're a fast typer. Could you let me know, right? So question word order, right? We say is before the sub, and this is a long subject. Look at the subject. Your favorite part about learning English. Guys, look, look, look. What is your name? Right? Shorter. Okay? But could you let me know what your name is? Remember, think about what do we say if it's not a question, right? So your name is Obama. Your name is. So what your name is. Understand? It's not super hard. It's not super difficult, but students always think it's really difficult. Just think, what do we say if it's not a question? So let's go back. What was it before? Here. What is your favorite part about learning English? Just put this here. Oops. Okay, here's the problem with the keyboard. Sean and I have the same problem. At work, we use Macintosh computers, and the keyboard is different. And for Smrt live stream, we use Windows. So the keyboard's a little different, so we always make the same mistakes. Okay? Could you let me know what your favorite part about learning English is? Okay, guys, so there's an example. I just did it with you. Yeah, okay. So go ahead, type your answers, and I will come back in about 3 or 4 minutes. Okay? All right. Okay, guys, good job. I love that song. I love that song. That's my favorite favorite part of the Smrt Live class. No, I'm joking. Yeah, lots of good answers. Lots of good answers. What your favorite part about learning English? We already did that one. What is the name of your mother? Right? So again, just think about what's an answer, right? What do we usually say? The name of your mother is Barbara, right? So please tell me what the name of your mother is. Remember, we use noun clauses, not always, Christina. I saw your comment. We don't always use them in questions or question answers. I'll talk about that after this, okay? What time is it? I'm not sure what time it is. Rosa, it's not a question, right? This one is not a question. And Rosa, spaces. Oh. I'm not sure what time it is, right? No, don't need any spaces before. I'm not sure what time it is, right? So this is an answer to a question. Okay, Rosa, you don't need a space before a question mark. I'm not sure what time it is. What do you mean? Please tell me. Okay, now what do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? Miguel, please tell me. Yes, good job, Miguel. Alejandra, Rosa, perfect. Please tell me, what do you? No, what you mean. We only need do in questions, right? Where do you live? Please tell me, where do you? No, please tell me where you live, right? Because not a question, we say, you live in Vancouver, right? You live, so where you live. All right, what is slang? What is slang? What is slang? Well, let me see here. F. F, 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 F. F, 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 F. Okay, where's F? Miguel, slang, well, it's not countable, right? So slang is da-da-da-da-da, right? Slang is da-da-da-da-da-da. So could you tell me, hey, could you explain what slang is? Yeah, just no Miguel, okay? That's okay. Could you tell me what slang is? Slang? Explain? No, that's crazy English. Slang! Explain! All right. Amir, could you explain what is slang? No! See, this is what I mean. Many students make this mistake. It's okay, Amir, it's okay, but listen, that's not correct. What is slang is a question. What is slang? What is that? Right? But this grammar, could you explain? That's the question. Could you explain? Could you explain, right? So now this part, we don't need question grammar. So what is slang? What slang is. Okay? That's okay, Amir, and everybody makes mistakes, but I want you guys to understand this is a mistake. Where is China? Could you show me where? Now, what do we say? China is here, right? So could you show me where China is here? So where China is. Could you show me where China is? And Marianne wrote situated, because Marianne is very sophisticated. Yes. But you're right, Marianne. That's totally fine. What is a synonym? Please remind me. Okay, so a synonym is da-da-da-da-da. So what a synonym is. Please remind me. Oh, I forgot the question word. Please remind me what a synonym is. Okay, we're running out of time, so I wanna go a little faster. How much does it cost? How much does it cost? Good job, Alejandra, because she remembered the S in cost. It costs now, right? In the present. It cost is the past, right? Cost, cost, cost. But the present, we need an S. It costs, right? I don't remember, is how much does, okay, it's present, it's present. Past is how much did it cost. So I don't remember how much it costs. Good job, Alejandra. Good job, Alejandra. Yes, yes. Okay. Who was your teacher last month, right? My teacher last month was Mark, right? Could you tell me who your teacher last month was? Right? Could you tell me who your teacher last month was? What does acquisition mean? Hey, could you clarify? Could you explain what acquisition means? And actually, this is a question, isn't it? So could you clarify? Yeah, sorry guys, I'm forgetting. Some of these are questions, right? So I need a question mark. Okay, let's do one more. What is the difference between a comb and a brush? Okay, I do not understand what the okay, so this one's a little bit, we have two choices, okay? Because what is the difference between a comb and a brush? We can say this. I don't understand what the difference is, okay? What the difference is between a comb and a brush, okay? That's okay. What the difference is, okay? The difference is, right? Or I do not understand what the difference is, but we say is at the end, okay? So here we say what the difference between a comb and a brush is. Okay, let's stop there. By the way, maybe you want to know what's the difference. Well, a comb, this is a comb. This is a comb, right? This is a comb. And a brush is, let's type hairbrush here, because there are many kinds of brushes. And this is a brush. A little bit different, right? I use neither. I don't need a comb, I don't need a brush, because my hair is super special. Okay, now, I want to talk a little bit about, well, Mark said we use noun clauses mostly in questions and mostly in question answers. Mostly, not always. Well, guys, I always tell my students this, and this is a little difficult, but I don't think it is super difficult. It's difficult for my students. It's always difficult for my students, but I don't think it's very difficult. Okay, let's think about Alejandra. You guys know Alejandra. Alejandra is in our chat. You guys are talking about my hair. Oh, that's yeah, but you don't have hair on your head, Mark. Look at this beautiful hair, guys. Look at this beautiful hair. Whoops. Here, look. See, I have hair. Look at that. What do you call that, Marianne? Right? And I have hair on my face because I don't have a lot of hair on my head. Okay. All right. All right. Alejandra. Now, Alejandra's from Chile? Is that true, Miguel? Alejandra's from Chile? Alejandra, is that true? I know there's a little delay. I didn't know where you were from. I'm using noun clauses in my speaking. I didn't know where you are from, right? See, that's natural English. I didn't know where you are from. A shaggy beard. Ooh, nice English. Shaggy. Okay. Okay. This is what I want to talk about. I want to talk about if and whether too. Fatih wants me to talk about this too, right? We'll talk about that last thing. But I think this is a little bit more important because I want you guys, students usually only understand noun clauses for questions or question answers. But we use noun clauses a lot in conversation. Alejandra, okay, let's change this. I want to talk about Chile. Okay, Chile. Now, listen carefully because always my students think this is difficult. What is a question? And the answer is Chile. Okay, think about a question, and the answer to the question is Chile. Don't use noun clauses, don't use special grammar. Guys, type in the chat, what is a question whose answer is Chile? Okay, just the only answer is Chile. Okay, I just kind of set it up. Think about Alejandra. Okay, think about Alejandra. I don't really want to. Alejandra, what is your country? What is my country? Well, that's kind of a strange question. What is your country? What is your country? That means like, it doesn't really mean where are you from, right? Or what, you know, it's kind of, you know, if we're playing a game and it's like different countries, you say, hey, what is your country? Oh, my country is France, right? We don't really say what is your country for where are you from, okay? Okay, so 17 Febra, okay. Where does Alejandra live? Yeah, okay. Okay, Miguel, okay. So we have some good, guys, don't worry about noun clauses right now. I want to change the subject a little bit. So I said, think about a question and the answer is Chile. The only answer is Chile. Well, here's what I mean. Where is Alejandra from? Where is Alejandra from? Okay. What is the country that has a place called Palacio La Moneda? Yeah, okay, Cayo, I don't know what that is, but I don't know what that is. What is that? No, what that is. I don't know what that is. What do we call the hair on your face? We call that a beard. We call that a beard. Changing the subject. Okay, a beard. Beard. It sounds like beer, right? Beard. Okay. Anyways, let's stop talking about Mark's hair. Okay. Chile. Let's do this. Chile equals where is Alejandra from? Sorry, why is my finger in my mouth? Chile equals where is Alejandra from? Okay. So, let's go to Chile. Okay. Think about this. What's another way to say Chile? What's another way to say Chile using a noun clause? Go. Type this, use this information. Okay? Use this information. Now remember, this is a question. This is a question, right? If you put this question here as a noun clause, cancel the question word order. No, Alejandra, come on. I don't want to use easy English. Let's go there. Can you tell me where Chile is? No, guys, you don't understand my question. What's another way to say, let's go to Chile? Don't change let's, okay, let me do this. Let's go to what? Christina, Acasuso, let's go, okay, but Pascoa, yes, Alejandra's country, that's fine, right? But we can use, look, Chile is a noun. Remember, I told you, we can use noun clauses, right? Nouns, noun clauses. So what's another way to say Chile? Well, another way to say Chile is this, right? And if you want to put this in a sentence, you must use noun clause grammar. Noun clause grammar, we just practiced that. Change the word order. Let's go to where Alejandra is from. Boom! This is, listen, this is how we use noun clauses. That's a noun clause. This is how we use noun clauses. Okay? We put them in sentences. Okay? Now Marianne, look at Marianne. Now Marianne, thank you. Thank you. Let's go to, look at Marianne's sentence, guys, in the chat. Let's go to the country. The country. Let's, Marianne wrote where Alejandra is from. Now, guys, what's the difference? What's the difference? I know this is getting more difficult now, I know. But what's the difference? Look, this is an adjective clause. Adjective clause? We talked about that at the beginning of class, right? Remember, adjective clauses, we say a noun and then a relative pronoun. That, which, where. This is a noun clause. This is the noun. But in this sentence, this is the noun right here. You see the difference? And remember, adjective clauses, we can use that, right? We can use which. And also, remember, Alejandra said last week, if you have, was it Alejandra last week? She said she wasn't here last week. If you have a new subject here, you don't need the relative pronoun. Let's go to the country Alejandra is from. You see the difference, guys? Do you see? These are all relative clauses. This is a noun clause. This is an adjective clause. Oh, that's so useful. Oh, good job. See, yeah, thank you. This is how our class works. Marianne reminded me. I totally forgot to connect noun clauses and adjective clauses. I don't think we're going to have enough time for if and whether today. And I don't want to talk about relative clauses anymore next week. I can't do relative clauses number 4. So maybe Sean can talk about that. Basically, if and whether, we use if. We're going to start talking about if and whether. I want to talk about this some more. Okay, so let's who's a famous guy, guys? Can I say the verb at the end? Yeah, absolutely, you can. What's an example? Let's do an example for soy. Okay. A question. Remember, think about a question. So here's my my Starbucks should pay me for showing this. Gosh, I'm just thinking of an example. So 1 second. I went to Starbucks. Is that a good example? I went to Starbucks. I went to Starbucks. I went to Starbucks. I went to Starbucks. Okay. Here. Okay. Good. I got it. Okay. What is a question? And the answer is Starbucks. What is a question? So think about Mark. Think about Mark. Think about Mark, right? What is Jerry Bladwin, Starbucks founder? Okay. If is used for conditional sentences. Yeah, okay, Louise, but that's different. We're talking about noun clauses. We're talking about if and whether as a relative pronoun. Okay, guys, we're running out of time. It's already 10:05. People have to go to bed. Rosa's probably already gone, right? Are you still there, Rosa? Anyways, okay. Where did Mark go? Where did Mark go? Right? This question, the answer is Starbucks. Where did Mark go? Starbucks. Okay. So what's another way to say Starbucks? What's another way? Oh, Rose is still here. Good. What's another way to say Starbucks? Yes, Louise. Yeah, good job. Also, if is like that too, Louise. Okay, PK Montreal, how you doing? Yeah, good. Starbucks, where did Mark go? So now, how do we say this? Well, let's think about this. Starbucks was Starbucks is 5 minutes from here. 17 February. Good job. Coffee brewery. John, we don't say, John, how are you doing? John, brewery is just for beer. It's just for beer. Okay, I know we do say brew coffee, but a brewery is a place just for making beer. Okay, it's okay. So what's another way to say Starbucks in this sentence? Right? Use this information here. Use that information here. Starbucks is 5 minutes from here. What's another way to say Starbucks? Come on, guys, type your answers. What do you think? Don't change the sentence. I want to see this information. Okay, put this here. Well, Soy, that's different. That's different. That's different. This is your sentence. This one. Okay, just change this word. Just change that. Huang, Nguyen, Xuan, close. Where Mark go? Where Mark go? No, this is past. This is past. Yes, Jose Alfredo Fuentes. No, Ayub, no. Look at Jose's answer. Very good, Jose. No, Christina, different. No, Andres, no. Steve, that's interesting, but that's not a noun clause. No, Rosa, Fatih, no. 17 February. Who is this person, 17 February? This is a new student, and this person's always has good answers. Where Mark, look, change this to a noun clause, right? Where Mark went. Where Mark went equals Starbucks, right? So where Mark went is 5 minutes from here. Where Mark went is 5 minutes from here. Now, Steve Lin, another new student to the Smrt Live class, welcome. He used an adjective clause, So he said, the place, right? Remember, adjective clauses, we need a noun, right? The place. And if you use where, the place where Mark went. Remember, adjective clauses, we can say where for places, or that, or which, or nothing, if you have a new subject here. So let's do that. The place Mark went. Now, we don't have where here. And remember, a long time ago I said where, you don't need to, right? But here, no where. So we should say the place Mark went to is 5 minutes from here. Okay, this is an adjective clause. This is a noun clause. The place that Mark went is 5 minutes from here. Yeah, you don't need to, I guess. To is optional. A lot of people say no to. The place Mark went is 5 minutes from here. Where Mark went is 5 minutes. Good, guys, good. Wow. So that's, if you understand this, that's amazing. And this is really important for higher level English. So listen to English now carefully. Guys, watch Netflix. I don't know if you have, I don't know if you have. I don't know if. So if means yes or no. Okay, we didn't have time to talk about it today. But I don't know if you have Netflix in your countries or something different. Netflix is really cheap and it's really good. And it's really good for learning English because you can turn on subtitles. What are the people saying? So I always tell my students, yeah, watch Netflix. Watch Netflix or whatever and look for noun clauses and look for adjective clauses. Okay? I think you guys understand the main information now. So really listen to English, read subtitles, and think. Is this a noun clause? Is this an adjective clause? If it's an adjective clause, how can I say it in a noun clause? Okay? Sean is, don't forget Sean's lesson today. It's happening 5 hours from now at 3 o'clock. Thank you for your support, for your donations. We really, really appreciate it. Otherwise, I'll see you guys in the Facebook group, and I'll see you next week in the Smrt Live class. Thank you very much, everybody, for coming. It's great to see the same people every week and new people. Please share these videos with your friends or your teachers. We need to grow. We need your help with that. Okay, guys, see you next week. Have a great week. Bye now.